In January 2018, the Glovers Trust published its Big Ten Challenge, something agreed to by then Supporter Liaison Director, now YTFC Chief Operating Officer David Mills. These were 10 very achievable goals, and the challenge was for them to be sorted within 3 months. Almost 12 months on, let's have a look at the state of play. The first thing to say is that the response to the challenge in January came back from Mr. Mills in the middle of March. Not great when the whole challenge was supposed to have been wrapped up in 3 months. More delays to responses followed. By May, not one of the tasks on the challenge had been achieved. Cutting a long story short, and unfortunately it's a longer story than it should have been, here are the outcomes to date of the challenge. Essentially, it hasn't been a roaring success. Really only 2 of the 10 have been completed, and while we're grateful that some progress has been made, 2 of 10 is not a great record at all. Here's a bit more detail on some of the points. Let's start with communicate the terms of the covenants affecting the Hewish Park site, what has been done to remove these, and the impact they're having on building a permanent social club. The result was this. The initial response from the club was that this couldn't be counted in the challenge and it fell outside of the scope of it. However, David Lee, solicitor and director of YTFC, would attend a future alliance meeting on the subject. Unbelievably, that meeting took place on Tuesday the 13th of November. Alliance group members were in attendance. Full notes of the meeting will hopefully be published shortly. But, you've guessed it, there's been a delay. We'll cover covenants and their absolute importance in a future dedicated video. The next is explore practicalities of utilising vendor trays to sell food and drinks inside the stadium during a match. The initial response to this was jaw-dropping. To quote it, "The corporate hospitality manager has said that this is not a viable proposition as food hygiene restrictions mean that food has to be kept either hot or cold as appropriate." We're not food hygiene experts, but when it's possible in stadia across the globe but not at Hewish Park, we become sceptical. Who knew that the likes of chocolate bars, cans of drinks, crisps, pastries or similar snacks had those kind of restrictions? What we've done is to set up meetings between the club and a catering expert. We're awaiting the findings of those meetings. Another challenge was ensure that all sinks in the toilet area dispense hot water as well as cold. Quotes were sought by the club for the provision of hot water. £15,000 was the given estimate. It seems that we're not worth £15,000 and YTFC have chosen not to take further action, but have installed hand gel dispensers in all toilets. Next up, explore the practicalities of providing a dedicated bus link that runs from the train stations via the town centre to the stadium. Anyone remember this picture of away fans trying to get from a station to Hewish Park? Quotes were obtained from several coach and bus operators. The cheapest rate given was £480 for one bus running one return trip between the town centre, Yeovil Junction, Pen Mill and Hewish Park. With the numbers of supporters who may wish to use the service being an unknown quantity, it was felt by the Alliance Group that this was not a feasible proposition. This is disappointing. First of all, why hasn't the club conducted an extensive survey if this would be welcomed by supporters? It's been brushed away without consultation. Secondly, even as low as the 4th tier in Germany, many clubs offer free travel on local bus, train and tram services as part of the price of a match ticket. Those ticket prices are low as well, by the way. We're not even calling for that, just to have a reliable bus service to and from Hewish Park. We urge the club to think outside the box, be creative and innovative to make what should be normal things possible. Another on the list was create a designated area for supporters to lead chants and use flags and instruments on the terrace to enhance the atmosphere during matches. YTFC state they have a relaxed policy on such matters and feel at present no need to create a designated area. We're not sure that there was an understanding of what was meant, and the response didn't seek clarification. Something like this and this. To be clear, we don't want people not to be able to see from behind flags. This would be a known designated area. It's all about encouraging an atmosphere. Explore implementing a prize draw for supporters to win an upgrade to a box or executive seat for the next match. The club have stated that this is in the pipeline as part of a strategy to drive programme sales, so this is partly done. Explore implementing a half-time prize draw for young supporters to meet the playing squad following a match. The club state that although a good idea in concept, it has two key challenges. Firstly, a prize draw involving under 18s presents a legal issue. Secondly, the club could not guarantee the squad would be available within a specific time frame post-match. It may be possible in an adjusted form via the junior glovers. So this one is a maybe, but not in progress. Last but not least, give supporters an input into the music which the team walk out to, perhaps inviting fans to vote from a shortlist drawn up by the playing staff. The club advises that the choice of music is down to the manager, but the fans are welcome to make contact with suggestions. This one also has to go down as not completed. So how do we sum up the Big Ten Challenge? It should have been like scoring into an empty net for the club, but instead has been quite frankly disappointing. Yes, there has been small successes, but there's been no "if there's a will, there's a way" from the club. The Trust will keep plugging away for these and other issues. We just hope that next year will be a lot more positive than 2018.